Yo, hello and welcome. Where the hell is my hand cam? Oh, there we go. A little bit tilted in it. A little tiny bit tilted. There we go. Perfect. Now, for some reason I could not sign. Oh no, it did sign in. Perfect, perfect. So, in today's stream, something will be blowing up. I have no idea yet what it is, but it's either going to be it's either going to be the massive hole type of thing I'm trying to blow up, or it's going to be something in the nether because I need netherite, or it's going to be my brain. All right, so let me quickly upload those, publish those messages, and then we can already go into the. Oh god damn it! What the? We already dropped 11% of all of my frames. Hell yeah. I do not think that's very good. I'll have to see if it can keep up with me streaming. And I can lower res. Let's go. All right. So I have I've sadly not been working on the video this week, which is a very sad thing. I actually wanted to work on it, like maybe yesterday, but I didn't get to that because I went to bed and I immediately fell asleep. I actually wanted to watch like some YouTube videos that I wanted to catch up on YouTube videos. But freaking hell, I did not even get that far. Like, I didn't even get to open YouTube and I was already sleeping. So, yeah. Anyways, today we are going to be playing on the server again, which hopefully shows up here. Otherwise, I have to check if my IP address changed again, and it does not look very good. Yeah, no, that doesn't look very good. Hello. Please don't tell me the IP address has changed. Ah, no, it just didn't open. What? Why did it get an error? Now that I have actually never had. That I have actually never had. I will need to check that real quick. That is really weird. Is that the wrong key? What server is that? I don't even know I had this server. Okay, that's weird. Limit reached. What does that mean? If I... Can I just delete this agent? Actually, wait. The WT server has another separate agent. I quickly need to check something. Now, this one has a local IP address. This is the behind then server. And this one is client. Which one is that? That's the what? I still have the WTG tunnel. And which one was that? I don't even have that server anymore. Bruh. That is actually crazy. So I can either delete the WTG thing or this one. I think I'll actually delete that one. So public server PC should now run again. That must be because they changed the tunnel count from exactly. That must be because they changed. Oh, my AC just turned on because the room got too warm. Yes, I indeed now do have a smart thing in my room that automatically turns on when it gets too warm. Or well, it's programmed to do that. Anyway, the server is now running. Perfect. That was something I have never ever seen before, and I hope it never happens again. Because it's not fun. There we go. So I have like no idea what I was doing yesterday. No, yesterday I wasn't home. No, I was actually home yesterday. Anyways, what I'm 100% sure that Discord and the Spotify window are using all of my CPU again. There you go. So what I was doing is here we have, well, this very crazy thing. As well as this here. Which is starting to get somewhere with the weathering process. Which means a few things. I will soon need to get bees because I need to... Oh, it's raining. Great. Because I will have to... Well, yeah. I guess it's understandable what I have to do. I need the honey. No, not the honey, the other thing. Why do I not have a trapdoor here? There's trapdoors. Ah, no, that's correct. So what I need is the thingies. Like the not the honey, but the other things. In order to wax the beeswax. I'm stupid. What do you need to wax something? Wax, obviously. But I will need that in order to wax the copper of my roof. And in order to get the wax, I need bees. But I don't think that's one of the things I'm going to do today. But what I would like to find out is how I can get the trees here to grow. That would be one nice thing to know. Because I want these to kind of grow. As that would look pretty cool. I might also either continue blowing up the mountain up there or continue finally detailing this space here a bit more. I need to switch things up a bit because not only is it not interesting for everyone out there that is watching, if they haven't already been bored to death, but also it's not very entertaining for me myself if I am blowing up the same old mountain for 6 streams straight. So far it's only been like 2, but still, it's not very fun. Now, I need to get my ass over to Dan's base again in order to hopefully find some grown sugarcane. So I can do one of two things, or well, no, so I can do two things, hopefully, which is planting sugarcane. Obviously it hasn't grown because it's not been loaded, but also I need to plant sugarcane myself. If Dan ever returns, he's probably going to wonder how his crops have still not grown. Well, that's also my fault. I might also grab myself some of these glowing thingies there, because I do think they're pretty cool as decoration, and why are these things growing so fast? Or well, not very fast, but they're like when I'm not around, they're just not growing at all. But when I'm here, I can just watch them grow. That is pretty crazy. Sadly, you cannot bone meal that stuff. Like in Bedrock Edition. Oh crap. Like in Bedrock Edition, I think you can bone meal them. Now, there's other things that I want to address. I will probably have the server running for the next, easily the next year, I think. The dudes and me, like the Bunsleys and me, well, mostly the Bunsleys, quickly dropped like just like a, you know, that would be a cool YouTube series type message. Well, actually that was the exact message, pretty much, or that's what it meant. And I saw some cool mod, and I do think that that would have extreme potential, but I don't know how you'd put that in a series or in just even a single video with multiple real players, because it would make more sense in a story focused Minecraft single player or like 2, maybe 3 player adventure that is like more story focused, trying to compel a story, maybe even a scripted story, you know, or a built map, a pre-built map, or some or role play, like real time, but with the way that we usually play, this is not really much of an option. However, I was thinking of looking into that to make a series. Maybe I can think of something that would work with at least 1 or 2 other people. If not, there's still the option of making it single player, or even turning it into like a like, how is he called? Something with Forge in his name. He plays like mod packs, and makes like an hour to 2 hour long videos. I think I used to watch some of his videos when I had time to watch the videos, and he just plays like mod packs and is like, you know, like stranded on an island, or in a zombie apocalypse, or RL craft, like stuff like that. I think something like that would also very much work, because it would also be enjoyable to make like one single video out of it, just give it the best of my, like, make it work with the best of my abilities, and, you know, just cook something up that is pretty decent, or a bit better than that, hopefully, and then just drop that. I think one of my most, like, I don't know, one of the videos I was able to do the least with, but actually had a lot of, like, I don't know, it had potential, but I don't know if I really used it. but that was the Halloween kind of special video that I made. Like 2 years ago, I think, when I played Minecraft in VR, that horror map in VR. That was like a pretty damn cool video. And I think the vibe was maybe not really that well set, potentially. Also, I wasn't really that good at editing yet. I mean, I think like a few videos after that, I really started to lock in. Right now, when I'm editing, I'm usually really locked in. I mean, my challenge videos have kind of a really consistent quality, I'd say. If you can kind of like call that quality. At least they are consistent in a way. I do still keep myself finding like little differences that I didn't even know the videos had, because I thought they were all the same. But like from like three videos earlier, I have something that is different, like different font in my thumbnails. I noticed that where I had like a different type of glow or text outline on some of my first thumbnails, and then I did that again on like one of my most recent ones, and I looked at that most recent thumbnail and I compared it to the earlier ones, and I was like, bruh, I never did that. And then I looked like at this first or second thumbnail of all the challenge videos, and I was like, huh, I did do that. So there is like inconsistencies that resurface because I did change things over time, and then I looked at older thumbnails and basically copied them, basically making mistakes, quote unquote mistakes, that I made earlier as well. It's really interesting. Actually, waiting on the sugarcane to grow would be a great moment to quickly look at my most recent thumbnail. I don't know if I want to spoiler it yet, but it's somewhere here. I just need to look at it in order to check if it's still mid or if it's just because I've looked at it for too long, or if it's turned worse in my head now. Actually, no, this has total potential. No, that thumbnail is not bad. The main focus needs... Well, I still need to do all the outlining on the crab. The crab that I sent into the Discord server was for that thumbnail. So I still need to do a little bit of outlining and potentially some color correction on the crab, because it's a little bit desaturated, kind of, because all the other colors are very saturated and the crab is just not as saturated. So I might need to bump that up a bit, mostly the blues, and then we're good to go. That thumbnail is not that bad, it's actually pretty solid. But I don't know if the message gets conveyed quite as I hope it does. Because it's a crab and an indicated line on the thumbnail. Like the blocks are like highlighted, illuminated to be like more bright in color, and there's arrows that show basically a movement direction. The sugarcane grew, perfect. So basically it shows a crab that is only able to move sideways on a thumbnail, and I don't know if it makes sense. Like, I know crabs in real life don't actually only move sideways, That's just like a stereotype or something that has been taught like that. I don't know. I used to think that for a long time. So I kind of put that into the thumbnail to kind of visualize that, but I don't know if it would have been better just having the regular Minecraft skin on there. Right now it's a crab that is basically wearing my skin. Which is kind of funny, I think. I don't know though if it's going to work as well. I mean, it's not a bad thumbnail, that's for sure. So there's pretty much just the two extremes that could happen. Either it's a really bad thumbnail and nobody understands the thought behind it, or it's goated with the sauce and gets 300 views. I do not think there will be a big in-between. Hitting the in-between would actually probably be rarer, or with a smaller chance than hitting 300, 400, 500 maybe views. Which is one thing I want to surpass at some point on the main channel as well. Because I do have a short, as we all know, that does have way over 100,000 views. Which is a short that I would have never thought that would get this many views. And if it happened on the second channel, that would have been the greatest day in my life. But the second channel, as crazy as it sounds, on average does better than the main channel, because I upload like 2 to 3 times a year. Mostly this year I have not uploaded a single video yet. Neither have I uploaded a community post, nor have I uploaded even a short that shows what I'm currently working on, because I have so little time and I don't want to upload just like low quality 3-second insight videos, which I might be doing in the future, in the near future. I might upload a very short video that just teasers what I'm working on, but like a very unimportant part of it that doesn't spoiler all too much. Well, actually shows, it probably is going to show the entire project in a semi-finished in a semi-finished condition. That was the word I was looking for. But yeah, let me get actually over there and plant that sugar cane, so we can have some more sugar cane closer to the coastline here. So I could actually also plant that sugar cane here, but I think it's more aesthetic if it's like over there. So yeah, the thing is, I do think that, or I do hope that in that longer period that I'm going to have literally nothing to do, I hope, because I'm probably not going to get a job for like 3 months or so. I'm going to have extremely long summer holidays, so those are probably going to be filled with just chilling, editing, maybe some write-outs, and I hope very much that I can also get the projects finished that I'm working on, the 3D printer and the mouse that I'm working on for the second channel. The mouse would have actually been a great project to finish about a year ago when Rocket Rocket stopped existing, which is still one of the saddest gaming moments ever. Because Rocket was like, I had kind of a connection to Rocket. I mean, on a not an emotional basis, I would say, but it was like a you know, the rocket kind of had like a place. Because rocket are like the OGs, right? I mean, rocket were like the best mice that I would say they are like they probably did make some of the best mice, and they definitely, I still think that they made the best looking mouse that I've ever seen. And this is the rocket cone ammo. Hehe. Yes, there is indeed a lot of things. What the hell are they doing on my half-finished tower? Next to my half-finished port, next to my half-finished village. A bit further away next to my half-finished, extremely large cylindrical hole. The question is, what do we work on today? Actually, I have no idea. Also, I am going to turn the AC off. It's actually almost getting chilly in here. I should relocate the temperature sensor in my room because it's taking the temperature behind the AC, which makes no sense because that's where it stays the hottest when it's cooling down. Anyways, we need to find something out, and that is if there is a way I can make these trees grow. I need to see if there's any if there's like growth conditions. Oh, I'm just stupid. That's the reason why it's not working. They need to be arranged in fours. Like dark oak. I did not know that. Alright, you're not gonna tell me those are the only pale oak saplings I have, right? Are we dead as? Oh no. Oh no 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 no. I do have a lot of those. Perfect. So I need to see if I even have 4. If not, we have to find a pale oak forest. How are they called? They're not called pale oak forests. But there is, in fact, only 2 saplings. Alright, we're absolutely cooked. There's only 2 saplings. If there is no saplings in those chests, somewhere here, then we need to find another... What the hell? How did that get here? There's none in here, and definitely none there, and nothing here either. There is probably no saplings in here, and that means we're cooked. Alright, where do we find this biome? And why did I only get 2 saplings? I should have known that. Let me see. the, how's it called? Chunk base seed map. It's not cheating because everyone has access to it, so I let everyone do this. The seed should already be loaded. Now I need to find the pale type R biome. Pale garden, that's what it's called. There is a microscopic pale garden. Minus 2000, that is actually great. 2000 blocks from here. Is there one that is closer maybe? Yes, there is. Now this one is definitely closer and it's also bigger. So we are going to fly our ass to minus 3000, minus 1600. That's where we need to go. So I need to go negative, positive. Negative, positive. What the hell? There we go. It's not even that far. It's like right across there, like next to the village. It should be right behind this mountain. Even though there should be a coast here. Yeah, there is a coast. Oh, there is a pale garden. Oh yeah, there definitely is a pale garden here. That is way closer than I expected. That's crazy. Alright, let's do some deforestation, as I often like to do. I actually do also like the color of this wood. I completely forgot about this. You know, sometimes I'm not the smartest guy when it comes to new Minecraft updates and stuff, because I look at everything, you know. I know there's new Minecraft updates. I know everything that's inside the Minecraft updates, and as soon as I open Minecraft, boom, as the title of this video says, stream says, everything's just gone. And the wood of this, oh, that looks actually, that is incredibly colored wood. It's like a great mix, I think, that would work with that would work extremely well with birch wood. Also, can probably strip the... This is the only log that's unstrippable, okay. Okay, Mojang. Who hurt you? I don't know if these here spawn on the trees, but they do look pretty cool. Also don't know why they're called moss if they're clearly like vines. Alright, so this one tree should hopefully give me more than one tree. Otherwise we are cooked. I do not want to fell too many trees. Couldn't that have been saplings, man? Also, this is also like pretty crazy, I think. We have this, oh, that's already one tree, great. We have this massive Like, I don't know what that is. But it's physically impossible, pretty much. No, actually, this isn't. And it looks really sick. Holy crap, that's sick. It's like, you walk through it, and if there, imagine there was like a wall here or something, right? Or I'm already imagining the next project. I'm crazy, I know. You know, here where everything's like darkened out, you know, it's pretty crazy. Where are you coming from, man? Go back where you came from. Come on. Great. So, you know, there's this, right? And then you walk underneath here, like you walk through and you come out, and then boom, clear skies, and just like beautiful terrain. This would look great with shaders. Believe me, I know these mountains. See, it looks crazy with shaders. Mostly the shadow from this mountain is great. I still do not know why some of the oak trees look so weird. Oh, this must be shadow distance. This will most likely cook my... How does that make any sense? The shadow distance is the exact same as the render distance, but the shadow distance... The shadows aren't being rendered correctly. Anyways, this isn't running very playably anyways. But look, this is pretty cool, right? Now if we go up here, we have... Boom. The shader doesn't change the skybox. Are we dead ass? The shader doesn't have a different skybox for the pale garden? Brother. That is absolutely cooked. Alright, let me up that again. Disable the shaders. So I don't know, the shadow distance, I don't know if that even affects regular Minecraft, because I never noticed that there... Oh, we are absolutely cooked. Yeah, I'm not doing that shit. Right, so if I just quickly fly back, wherever back is, that should be my mountain, right? No, that's the mountain next to the mountain that I live on. I mean, like my mountain, I mean the mountain that is basically touching the... What the hell? Where are we? Oh, this is the jungle, right? So this is the mountain, right? Yep. I was disoriented. The direction of the freaking thingies here was like wrong as hell. Right, I don't really want to die right now, so I'm gonna skedaddle. Anyways, we have probably just gotten like some of the most beautiful woods that I have ever gotten. We have actually this should be a crazy palette. I mean, I know I'm just going to waste all this, but we have this type of wood. Then I don't know if we have birch anywhere, but we have cherry wood, which is a really similar color. And a really nice one at that. And then we have birch wood, which I do not think I have on me right now. Do I have some birch here? I do in fact not have any birch, but this is crazy. This is a very nice palette. This is a crazy nice palette. A very nice palette, man. A very nice palette. I do most likely have some birch wood here, so I can try that out. I mean, that's one of the nicest palettes I've ever seen. I mean, alright, no, it's might not be the craziest palette, but it's like a really lightweight palette. I really like this. Probably makes more sense to have this transition in that way. I don't know how the transition would look the best, but this is some very nice palette, I think. You could probably even go one step further. I sadly do not have any how is it called? The crimson wood? I don't think I have any of that. Most likely also don't have that built into anywhere. I'm pretty sure. But the crimson wood should be the crimson planks. Or these. Ah, you're right. This could open up some new possibilities. Because we now not only have an almost white wood with the birch wood, but we have an actually white wood. Like it's white. Not just a bright yellowish color, it's actually white. And that is some pretty cool stuff, because we do have a really bright interior here, and I think this could profit from some pale wood. And I think I'm going to try that out right now. I might just replace all of this with the pale oak. Or at least let me just check how this would look with calcite next to it, because it might just look pretty damn sick. And if it does, we can just replace this. Oh yeah, it's like slightly pinkish. I think this should work if we quickly place some blocks and shit here. Yes, that works. I don't know if the stairs and stuff are going to work anymore if we replace all these slabs with pale oak, because it might just throw off everything a bit. Because the slabs, I mean the stairs are very like woods. Like we have, no, they're all made from oak wood actually, it's all the same wood. But the I don't know if it throws them off too much. Maybe we'll have to replace that with potentially cherry. But I don't know. I honestly do not know if cherry wood works with that. Right, I need to make a stack and 8 apparently of those. Not a stack and 8 blocks. Stack and 2 and a stack and 8. Perfect. Right, so this is the first time I've ever used this wood in a build, and I don't know. Oh, we need a stack of 9. That's a stack of 8. Yeah, what the hell? Now how is that? Oh, that is possible because we're going to hit our heads on this floorboard here. Exactly. I still need to find out a better way to add lights to this building, because the old lanterns don't really work in here that well. It's really light now. It's like a very light, very bright interior. But it works. I think it works pretty well. Can I hang this? Ooh. Oh yeah, this works. This might be a bit too dark now. Maybe like something more in the direction of oak wood would, or maybe even birch would have worked. Here we might replace this at some point. But I really like the slight pinkish color of this, because it could work really well with like some cherry interior, but that would probably be a bit too much potentially. I mean, I could do it, I could try it technically, right? I do like this this first story here. This is not yet harmonic enough. Maybe with spruce wood this would already look good, because the spruce has the same color as the oak. Makes it not as heavy as this is currently. Also, this yeah, it works well from the outside too. Now we need to do some things, right? I have built this house here, and there's no villager here yet, obviously. But I think we could change that. Actually, I don't just think we could, but we can. Currently, that is relatively difficult because I did not update the server again. I don't even know if there's a... Did the Happy Gas version release yet? For like... Is it out of testing already? Oh, we did have pale oak saplings. Stupid ass. And they grew. The pale oak grew. It grew. I don't know if it makes much sense to have pale oak growing here. We're just making an artificially created biome that does not make any sense at all, I think. This tree here is going to look extremely sick if it grows into the same direction as this one does, because then we can have like hanging vines from it, and that will look cool. That will look really cool, because apparently the spawning trees don't have vines on them for some reason. Also, in this version, sadly, we do not yet have the leaves, like the ones you can place on the floor that the cherry leaves added. were added with the cherry trees, but only for cherry trees, that we then also had for the regular trees in the next update. Yeah. Now let's see how this looks at night. Oh, this is hella chill in here. This is... Ooh, but now it has an atmosphere. Now it's... Now with the very pressing ceiling, it kind of gives spooky. It gives really this room. This room has something spooky to it. And I mean that it does have something spooky. The single light source that is illuminating from the back forward. And then that open door here. If there was no light out there and we had no light on the wait. We're gonna remove the lights on the bottom floor. That is hella spooky. That is some material for some spooky ass stuff here. And I mean what are those, man? What are those? Light glitches in 2025? There is no way. Could I do some crazy shit here and just do like this? Oh, this is a bottom slab. Wait, this is a bottom slab? Okay, that's weird. I was wondering something. Does that technically work? Oh, bruh. If only you could place trapdoors here now. And I could place signs, but that's not a trapdoor. Actually, some decorative, like, I don't know. This just looks like ass. I mean, it literally looks like ass. It's so bad, it doesn't look any good at all. And I have no idea how to reliably make good room lighting in a room like this. The craziest way that I can think of right now in order to add light to this room would be to change the floor pattern to have glowing blocks. Can I have a list of light emitting blocks? Light emitting blocks Minecraft. The hell. The frog light would probably be interesting. I think frog lights might work the best. Frog lights might actually work. Or technically glow lichen would also glow I can still not say that. I don't even know how to say it. But this sea lanterns would also kind of vibe with the color, but I think frog lights in a way have like the most similar yeah, the most similar drip that this house has currently. But there's also another way we can actually do this. That doesn't really work here very well, I think. One thing I might be able to do, that I have so far not tested, which might technically work. Let me quickly see. This might be like a crazy play to pull. How do these look? Ooh, freaking perfect. Pale oak trapdoors have no holes. Which in turn means we can hide stuff underneath them, like for example a light source. Meaning if I dig a hole here that is 2 blocks deep and I add a strong light source, like for example a torch. Torches are relatively strong light sources. Like, as you can see, they're extremely strong light sources, actually. You can have stuff like this here. Which probably isn't going to look too much out of place, even if we should not cover it with blocks, because if we do, we are back to black pretty much. So I guess I can do this on like the main corners of the building, which would be these 3, I'd say. I need to quickly make another set of trapdoors. I don't know, that's a lot of lighting here. I don't know if the entrance here needs one as well. I don't really think so. One underneath the entrance would work very well as well. I think we're gonna try that actually. I have never tried placing let me see if I still have some coal. I in fact do. Like what I was saying, I have never, bruh, how did I slip into that? Never tried placing a door on a door. That works perfectly fine, I did not know that. And it looks pretty cool as well. Yeah, this is pretty cool. I don't know how to add furniture to this yet. This is like the only decorative thing we have. This massive pot with the kind of cherry tree in it, as well as flowers, and then we have the staircase that leads up to the kind of the attic type of thing here. We have a waterfall outside of our window that looks absolute garbage underneath the water. currently this probably only looks good with some shader packs applied, which makes this room look pretty cozy. And this underground lighting actually does have some vibe to it. Oh, you know what would really go hard here? A fireplace. A fireplace would go extremely hard. Right about here. Where we could then pull up the stone chimney kind of next to the staircase up outside and then out of the roof. That would go very hard. And because that would kind of do that 4 blocks wide, that would already use up quite a bit of space. And due to there being this being I need to turn off the shaders, this is lagging too much. Makes it look a bit, well, brighter actually. This is crazy. But if you do a chimney here, a bit of a more standard styled, like a darker chimney potentially, most likely with deep slate that is slightly darker than the polished tuff that I've been using for most things. Well, for the floor, yeah. And then add some fire to that. Don't know if campfire or actual real fire would look better there. Because the campfire is in itself a very aesthetic block, I think. I have to admit, it is a very aesthetic block. We do still have cobble deep slate, great. We're probably going to use tiles for this. And we are going to need some... How am I going to build this? I have not built a chimney in a while. Also, I don't know how massive I want to build this thing. How would this make the most sense? I need it to be like pretty big, but also not like massively intimidating, and making the room feel extremely small. I mean, we definitely need like stairs. What I'm thinking is sideways stairs and then 2 upside down stairs. And then have the... Obviously the main part of the chimney, we need quite a few of those. Or like, not the main part, but like the exhaust parts. I don't know how this is actually called. Probably the chimney, actually. We might make the sides of the actual, like, where the fire is out of walls as well. I don't know. I kind of got to see if this makes any sense. What I was thinking of is basically... Oh, this is one too far over. It's basically this, and then I don't know if we can do that. Or if that is like too pressed. But this definitely needs to be just... Why do I still have lag spikes? That's weird. So I need either a fence in front of this or some sort of slightly like heightened blocks here, which looks like absolute garbage. Also, I don't know if we want to do these out of slabs. It makes it a bit thin looking, in my opinion. It's like not like massive enough. This actually I think looks pretty good. If we added full blocks here, it would make it look too undetailed and like very blocky. So I need to grab me some, wherever the hell that is. Do I not have a single block? Oh hell yeah, the tree grew. And it grew in a very symmetrical way. Interesting. Yeah, interesting to say the least. Sadly, I did leave the vines, the hanging moss in the other chests. So I cannot add that to the tree yet. But I can plant some decorative dark oak saplings. Like for example, right there. That is a moss carpet. Are they called moss carpets? They are called moss carpets, which is a very interesting name if you think about it, because it's not an actual carpet. I mean, the physics function exactly the same as a carpet. I think it's crafted the same as a carpet, well obviously just with moss. But it's very, very carpety. It's just not a carpet. This is a very, very, very dark chimney. That is going to come out right here. Which I can fool by adding just one row of blocks up here. Respectively, I could also add them closer to the window. But I don't know if that looks worse or better. That actually looks pretty bad. Well. This is also like a problem. Because, where the hell did that go? Like, this doesn't work at all. And I don't know if I can fix it by just adding 2 slabs here. I don't think I can. The one way I could think of fixing this, I quickly need to look at this just like in a test where I placed them both upside down. I don't think this works, but it could work. How do I keep breaking this wall? This in game, this is like it's like American walls to break, you know. It's too easy to break. Alright, do we have any of the goddamn netherrack anywhere? We do. I mean, I could also look at like chimney designs on YouTube, which I will probably do in like 2 minutes. Because this is like the most 2016 chimney design I've ever seen in my goddamn life. Since when is fire this tall? I am going to be using campfires most likely. On the freaking Bad Lion website. What the hell? Actually, I do think that these designs here are way nicer than what I was doing. So I will be borrowing them, I think. They are using wood and I do think wood is a way better candidate for all this than what I've been trying to use. Now the problem still is, do we have a wall behind this house? It is not visible from the outside. I'm just dumb as hell. I can do whatever I want on this rear wall here because it's not actually visible on the front. Which makes this a lot easier because it means I can just, well, I can remove all this first of all. Then fix my floor because it's not going to be broken. Now, I do have chimney designs here and I do think I can work with those. But they're all based on centered designs. So either like single block centered designs. So I either go to this left hand side or this right hand side, or just slightly to one side, which I don't know. I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I want the chimney to be here, going up here, which would be this block, which would be 1, 2, 3 from the staircase. 3, so this block here could work technically. Not saying it's not going to work. But I do not have very much space upwards. But let's still try it. Let's still try it. It's built in a very, very weird way. That first of all, it's quite weird to look at if you look at it for longer. It is built in a very weird way, I have to say. It's built using stairs. And not only is it built using spruce stairs, it's also built using spruce trapdoors, which, well, they are still my favorite trapdoors, but I don't really want to overuse them too much. And the funniest thing of all, it also uses a background type of block, and I don't know. I don't vibe with the dark blocks too much anymore. It's too dark. So we're going with what design is going with, which is bricks. Well, some other blocks, but mostly bricks. So we're going to use some brick slabs here, which we ideally actually only need 5 of. So let's try to build this bottom part of the chimney. I don't know if we can build the rest reliably yet, but we're going to try it. We're going to build this in this 3-block space here. Meaning I need to clear this out so I can build something. The chimney basically works in this fashion here, that we have kind of like a backdrop. I can add regular stone here, it's just going to be a campfire there anyways. Then we're going to have a stair that faces not this but that direction, which is the reason why there has to be stairs. And then we have upside down stairs, but only in front, so this is going to be, I have no idea what. Actually, this is wrong. These stairs are front faced, which is really interesting. But it works extremely nicely. Then we have that single slab here, and we cannot from any angle see that there is no blocks up there, right? Well, we can, but it doesn't actually matter too much, does it? Now there's 2 ways to do this. Either we just light this up. No, there's not a slab, there's a freaking... Obviously it's also a campfire and trapdoor, not a slab. Do I still have a... I do still have a trapdoor. I'm just the goat. I need to craft... what do you need for that? 1 coal, 3 sticks and 3 logs of some sort. I'm still goated with the sauce. There we go. That is a very nice looking campfire, I do indeed believe. So now, as I said, we can do everything with this wall I want. So I can build a brick chimney here, technically, right? I mean, now it obviously stopped smoking, and it's also not very textured, but that's technically what it would look like if there was an actual chimney here. Now this, I don't know. I don't really like this too much, do I? But if we break this, we can see it. Right, so there's not really a way I can hide this. Sadly, because you can't, you know, add slabs to things, but there is a way I can kind of try to fool it. Now we have water there, so we can see this, but I can do it like this. Can do it like this. Then we'd need a stair or something, and then go through that. And that would not make any sense anymore because this is in line. Almost. No, this is in line. So that doesn't work either. Crap. This is actual garbage. There's not really many ways I can try to hide this, except maybe with a carpet or something, and then adding I don't know what you'd add here. What the hell would one add here that needs a carpet? Nothing, except for a conveniently placed carpet. Probably. This is absolutely cooked. Well, I didn't do really much in this stream today yet. I do have a nice fireplace. I really like this fireplace. It's pretty cool looking. Indeed, we are going to add at some point, if I do not again forget, the invisible item frames and also the armor stand. Data packs, so I can do some magic with mostly item frames for now, I'd guess. The armor stands do take a lot of time, like setting one armor stand correctly takes me like a few minutes. But here we can have like, we can hang stuff and stuff. For example, technically we probably do not need those two lights in the floor anymore. We can have that hidden light there, and I don't know. This could use some flower pots or something. The original design uses colored leather boots to add like like the socks you add to chimneys on Christmas, and also some other decorations that don't really make much sense in my application here. But I do still have flower pots, don't I? Or at least I have some bricks here that I can make a nice pot with, and I don't know, add a little something to it. What would one add there? Like they used shrubs in another similar design. I don't really like the idea of adding a shrub there, but like a bamboo could work. Also, I don't have any shrubs, but that's besides the point. If we add like a little, yeah, a bamboo here. Which is obviously turned in this exact direction that it looks absolute garbage. Any other direction. But this, bruh. It does still look pretty cool. It needs some design. Up front here, well, most of the houses do need some sort of designing. to them. For example, we could have like a painting here, which I've also not crafted in ages. I do, however, think that I do still remember how to craft them. Indeed, it needs sticks and a single piece of wool, and you can make a painting, which is pretty cool. So if I added paintings here, oh, there is new paintings that I also... I have no idea what paintings we have. I mean, these are some classics. Let me just do this real quick. Oh, that one's pretty cool. That's a classic. Are these the only two vertical paintings we have? Is this painting broken or something? I have never in my life been so happy that I installed the anti-creeper grief data pack. Also, I will from now on remember to close my freaking doors. Also ignore the goofy outfit. That's crazy. Anyway, what I was talking about, this is I think probably the best painting we can add in this situation here. It doesn't look out of place like at all. It's amazing. New paintings are pretty damn cool. So if we just only look in this space here, we have, it's pretty cozy, yeah. It needs some carpets, definitely, and like the area in front of here, we do need carpets. And I think we could potentially get rid of both of these, or at least one of them, or maybe hang a lantern on the staircase. That's, you know, also an option. Actually, I think I'm going to do exactly that, because we have light from this corner and we're going to have light from this corner and from here. This side might be a bit dark-ish, but if I remove this, where did I put the blocks? Did I remove the blocks from my inventory? Actually freaking stupid. Where are they? There. So might need an oak block here. Potentially works with an oak block. Maybe it also just needs nothing. I need to quickly test that. If we add a block here, we can add a lantern here. And I vibe with that. That looks probably better than nothing. And then we can pretty much entirely remove the corner here, I think. Bruh, I don't care. Yeah, I think that works. I don't think we need a painting here. It doesn't really work well on the edge. But this works. This works totally fine. So it's like really empty for now. I will add carpets, most likely in like the entrance here. And maybe like an armor stand somewhere in this region over here somewhere. Or maybe here. Like a wardrobe with like armor stands and shit could work here. But maybe not. I have no idea yet. So yeah, this side of the building could use some, or a lot of stuff added. Also, I didn't explode anything this stream. Also, this still looks like absolute garbage, and I need to fix this by adding some sort of cleverly placed carpets or pots or whatever. I mean, there I added a pot, and that worked pretty well. If I didn't knew that was there, I probably wouldn't notice either. So if we add something similar to this, this place here, that could very well work. For example, like I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't know what I don't know. But this bottom, like the lower this etage of the building looks pretty cool. I mean, if you enter, it does look pretty cozy in a way. I think this building here is like crazy. It's like looks like a freaking shed in here, but mainly I think the color palette in this one is really balanced so far, or at least pretty well balanced. I mean, I do like the walls; they're pretty decent walls. Because I do still know how to do brick walls with at least some level of uniform texture. If I were to go further, I would also add polished blocks of those, and then stairs and buttons and all that. But that's not really the vibe I'm going for. I don't want this to look like a destroyed or an old building, a very old building. I want it to look like just like a brick house that has some texture in it, like there. But that also means we need to do quite a bit on the interior. It is probably one of the most warm colored houses that I've ever built, and definitely the most warm one we have here. This one has a very dark palette, but it doesn't feel as pressed from the top because it has a really light ceiling and a really dark floor. Well, it's not really light, but it's like medium, and this is like pretty dark. At the beginning I was not very sure about this, but it doesn't look very out of place at all, I think. I mean, it's chill, I think. And then, well, this one here, this one, it's currently night, you know, you have to know that it's night time, and this edge, like this space here on the wall, it's slightly darker, but it doesn't feel very dark at all, because you still have artificial light sources like on opposite ends of the room, and then one more natural light source in the center here, and I think that is pretty cool. On the top here is obviously still pretty dark, which makes for that very creepy atmosphere with a single flower that is has falling leaves and stuff. And then obviously the attic, which is which has an extremely weird atmosphere. It's really, really tight up here, the space. I mean, you can barely walk upright on most of it. And then probably going to fill this with storage, cobwebs, and other stuff. The rest of this space here, I might actually replace this with spruce or even oak wood, because I think it's too dark. It makes it look creepy as hell. But bruh, another one? But what's for sure is that I will definitely keep that in mind for building a horror kind of house. I might build one single house in the in this entire village here that is intentionally very creepy. I think that would be a funny thing to do, because like imagine just like one of the last houses somewhere on a mountain or something, like up there or so, like right on the edge to where the village ends, with a bit of distance to other buildings, which also is a perfect excuse for me not to build too many houses up there, to leave a bit of space, and then make a house that just doesn't seem anything spooky on the outside. But when you get in, you have that very press look that you get on this etage here. There is like no interior at all, but just like a single, like a lit fireplace or something as a single light source, which makes no sense, you know. And then that light is obviously going to be from the back of how you stand most of the time. So this is a sign, I swear. I'm talking about spooky houses and a witch freaking spawns. Hey, bro. Oh, hello, Nameless. I have been doing very well. I mean, as well as I could, you know, expect from what I'm doing in the military, I guess. How have you been doing? Bruh, is that a free healing potion? Perfect. I mean, you've been away for a while. That's, you know, Avelina has told me some stuff, and I think, yeah, I didn't want to bother you or anything. I mean, I also didn't really have all too much time. But still, I hope you've been doing well. At least reasonably well, obviously. Just like I have been doing reasonably well. I mean, to be honest, my I feel absolutely cooked, because I wanted to, you know, it's currently it's like that. I want to watch YouTube videos. I go to bed, and before I even get my phone out, I'm already sleeping. In military, well, funny things have happened. The last few weeks, you know, everything was normal. We're just learning things about the tanks, and well, funniest thing is we started driving with the biggest tanks that were me and my function that can drive with what I'm doing, that I'm going to learn how to drive. Great, thank you for understanding. Yeah, so we've been kind of just starting on the biggest vehicle, the heaviest vehicle we're ever going to drive in the military, most likely. I mean, I'm a pretty damn good driver. I am one of the few ones that managed to pass the practical driving test on the first try, and I was also one of the ones who had. I think I'm like. I was one of the first ones to actually have the test. I was also one of the last ones to have the first actual driving lesson. So there was the least time in between, and I didn't actually make any big mistakes. So I'm a pretty decent driver, I think. At least better than the ones that forget to freaking close the ramp of the tank when driving. Which did happen. It also happened to one of the sergeants yesterday. No. 2 days ago. 2 days ago, yes, I think. Also, I'm one of the only ones that passed the C exam, the theoretical C exam, on the first try, with the least faults of anyone that passed it the first try, from our section. Which is also pretty crazy. So I was locked in. I was locked in there. And last week I was also very locked in. Not like this week, but the week before this week I was really locked in. We went shooting on the 300-meter shooting range. I should explain that. The C test is for like heavy vehicles from 3.5 to 7.5 tons. With, well, it's C1, not C. C1 is from 3.5 to 7.5, and C is, I think, everything above that. And it's like with up to what I don't know, 8 people, and then there's D1, which is up to 16 people, and same weight class. So basically, I can drive like small trucks, like small transport vehicles mostly. Anyways, then we also went shooting like 2 weeks ago, on like Wednesday last week. We went shooting on the 300-meter shooting range and did like one of those standardized shooting tests that they do in order to determine if you can keep your weapon after service. And I scored the most points that any of the sergeants there had ever seen, including themselves. And I think, yeah, I was crazy. I wasn't even like actually locked in, like especially locked in. I was just like, yeah, I mean, I shot the previous round pretty well. I almost got as far for the... I was 1 point below what I needed to get the shooting, like the badge that you get, or like a certificate that you get that you're like a good shooter. I was like 1 point below, and that was already pretty good. That was better than everyone except for one person shot that day. then one of the sergeants said, yeah, now you lock in and you're gonna easily surpass that, right? And then I was like, yeah, for sure. I was like, no way, that was lucky run. And then I get freaking 80 out of 85 points the third time ever I was shooting on a 300 meter range, and that was like the third or fourth time ever I was even shooting that freaking gun. So that was crazy, and they were like, have you ever shot weapons in your life before that you're that crazy? And I was like, no, I've never touched a weapon before military in my life. And that was pretty crazy. But I only get to shoot the it's like just a rifle. It's like a machine gun type of thing. It doesn't even have like a visor, like it just has iron sights, just a little round thing. I honestly don't know why I'm this goated at shooting, because it's crazy. It's crazy. Even when we're shooting like short distance, like 20 or 25 meters, bro, like I aim, I shoot that shit, and I hit everything inside of a radius of like 3 centimeters. And then, but like, we have like targets where there's like circled sections with a diameter of like, I think 5 or 8 centimeters. And I shoot from like 25 meters and I hit everything. It's all inside of like 3 centimeters, but it's mostly outside of the target. And then they're like, yo, you shoot crazy well, but your gun is not very accurately it's not very accurately set up. So I it's literally the gun's fault. I shoot so well, you can see how bad the gun is set up. It's actually devious sometimes. Yes, but we only get to shoot it in single shots mode. We can't shoot like triple or full mag automatic. That's forbidden in pretty much every case, except they said potentially the best shooter can maybe shoot a triple shot once as because he's the best at shooting, but I am not very sure if that's ever going to happen. Anyways, that's pretty crazy all. Yeah, I have to say, it's pretty crazy. I'm too good at shooting. Maybe I'm too good at shooting. Maybe they're gonna keep me there and I have to continue in military, which would not be very great because then I'd lose another year. But yeah. Oh, actually, they are pretty solid guns, but for some reason I have a different setup on different distances, which makes no sense, because there's a visor that is for there's one for at night, then there's one for 20 meters and 200 meters distance, and then there's one for 30 and 300, and one for, I don't know, just another fourth visor. The weird thing is, when I shoot at 30 meters and at 300 meters, because it's the same visor, technically the setup should be exactly the same. But for some reason, when I shoot at 30 meters, my visor is like 6 clicks off, and 6 clicks off on 300 meters is like pretty much exactly half the diameter of the freaking of the target. So when I when I set my gun up for 30 meters and I go to the 300 meters shooting range and I shoot, I hit exactly at the edge of the target, which is stupid because it makes no sense. And I mean, it can't be that my aim is this ass, because I mean, I hit I hit the exact center of the freaking target 5 times in a row in like 20 seconds or so. So it can't be that. Anyways, I don't know. It's a bit weird. It makes no sense. The sergeants don't know why this is happening either. Anyways, this week some crazy stuff happened. We went shooting on a shooting range where you can shoot the tanks with the tanks. We're not shooting the tanks, but we're shooting using the tanks with the bigger machine gun that is mounted on the tank. It's not a massive gun, but it's like it does a lot of damage, at least to people, I think. And we went shooting there, and the crazy thing is, we were all driving at like mostly two people in one tank, sometimes 3. And we were driving, just chill driving the way there, which is like 3 hours. The route we went is like 3 hours. And like, I don't know, 2 hours in, we were going uphill into a village, and the guy, I was, at that point, I was not driving, I was on the seat behind, or well, standing behind, and reading the map. And then Bre was just going uphill, and then he was telling me over radio, "Yo, Bre, I cannot give any gas." Then he was immediately going to the side of the road, stopping, pulled the brakes, and he tried driving forward, and it just the gas pedal had no resistance to it. But then he was like, "Bruh, did like something break in there? I don't feel any resistance on the gas pedal." So I got out of the tank, opened the freaking it's a massive piece of metal above the engine bay, like a hood, but not really. No, I don't get to fly shit. The only thing the only time I'm going to fly is when I accidentally step on a freaking landmine, which they don't have in Switzerland anyway, so I will not fly at all. There is pilots, but I don't get to fly anything. I drive. Insert the I drive meme. Anyways, crazy shit is, we're just chilling in front of like a random ass house in a village on the side of a road. I opened the engine bay, and he's flooring it, right? And inside the engine, where the throttle body is, there's literally nothing happening. And then there's a hand gas. The hand gas worked, so we were like, "Bruh, the freaking the wire ripped." Yeah, that's also true. We never go to war, I hope. So that was the first tank. Yeah, I mean, yeah. He just gave it everything, but there was nothing. The tank did not do anything. He was full on the gas, but the wire ripped, so we did not have any way to drive, except if we used the hand gas. And then after we were then... another tank got back to us. We also had radio problems, so we had to call one of the other guys from our section that was driving another tank to then call a sergeant via radio to come back to us then we kind of illegally towed the freaking tank through half of the village to put it on like a parking spot. And then we left it there. The other guy that was driving stayed there, and I went with the other two that were in the other tank, and they drove me back. Then they drove me the rest of the way to the shooting range where we were actually going. And then one of the sergeants was joking, why didn't you drive the entire way with the hand gas? And I mean, the hand gas is literally ass. It's very inaccurate, and you can barely set it on a specific position because it's really hard to pull on. And then you pull too far, and then you're just giving it everything it has. It's a bit stupid. So anyways, that was the first broken tank of freaking 4 tanks we broke this week. And I remind you, the other like 7 or 8 weeks before, not a single tank has broken. Nothing has broken on a tank. So the second tank that broke this week was when we were driving home from the shooting range the day after, on Tuesday. We were driving home, and like, I don't know, 10 kilometers before our like the, I don't know how it's called, like the military, our headquarters type shit. One of the, like the last tank of our half of the section called via radio and said, bruh, something is making a very weird noise and it feels like asshole to to drive the freaking tank. So he then said, I cannot drive like this, I'm going to stop somewhere where I can stop safely. He stopped, and one of the sergeants stayed with them. No, actually 3 sergeants, I think, stayed with one guy, and then the other ones drove back with us. And then like an hour later they told us the freaking suspension broke on one of the wheels. It literally, like one of the main parts of the suspensions, it has literally just broken. It literally just cracked right through. I don't know how that's possible. Never seen that happen, because it's solid freaking metal. It's massive. How did that break? Craziest thing is they weren't even driving that crazy. The guy that drove that tank is actually a pretty chill driver, and the roads weren't that crazy as well. And I mean, we were driving on freaking roads, not on like somewhere in the terrain. So that was the second tank that broke. Then on Thursday we were preparing for yesterday, because yesterday was a day where like parents and friends could go visit. So we were preparing for like an intro sequence where we all drive up in like one line and then get out of the tanks and then do like a pose in front while the higher ups explain what the hell is happening. And we were training for that, and one of the guys that drove one of the tanks, when we were all lined up, the drivers had to turn off all the vehicles and then also get out to stand in front. He drove up, all the other drivers turned off the tanks and the other vehicles, and then that guy just he couldn't turn off the tank. And to shut off the engine, there's like you pull on like a thing that is also connected with a cable to somewhere in the engine bay, I would figure. And he couldn't, like, it did nothing when he pulled on it. Usually the engine shuts off a few seconds after you start pulling on it. One of the sergeants went in, came out like a minute later, and he literally had that thing you pull on and a meter of cable in his hand. So that was the second cable that ripped that week. That's pretty crazy. I don't know what the cables are doing, but they're all just freaking ripping apart. So that was tank 3 out of 4 that broke. And then the 4th tank that broke was yesterday when we were you know, putting everything back in its place after the visitors were there, so we could all leave. And yeah, he just pulled the cable out. The cable literally ripped apart when he was trying to shut off the engine, which is crazy. I mean, it's a freaking solid 3mm steel cable or something in there. I don't know how that rips apart. It's crazy. And then the last tank that broke was yesterday, as I said, when we were trying to clean up, tidy up everything again. That was not from our section, but from another section from the same company. And they managed to get the ramp of a smaller tank stuck open, and if the ramp is open, you are not allowed to drive the freaking tank. So they were stuck in front of the hall for the tanks outside, and they couldn't close the freaking ramp. And that ramp is like I don't know, a few hundred kilos, so you cannot close that shit by hand. And there's like a hydraulic cylinder that pulls it up, and that thing was broken, I think, or something else got stuck. They couldn't close it, so then the sergeants from our section had to remove all the sensitive material from the tank, like a freaking machine gun and stuff, and put it inside the hall, because for some reason the other sergeants didn't tell us anything and just went back to basically being finished. That was like one of the last things to do. So our sergeants from our section went and got all the materials out, so they could leave the tank outside. It was pretty crazy. We wasted like 5 minutes on waiting for them. So we went home a bit later, which is a bit ass. But that was the last tank we broke. It was literally like 10 minutes before we could leave. They broke another freaking tank. Also, last week somebody flipped the G-Class. I mean, it's not like very big damage. I mean, the suspension damage is probably pretty expensive, but replacing those 2 cables is not much. And I don't know what damage is on the ramp, but it's probably not too big of a deal either if it's not like the entire hydraulic system. I mean, the tanks are old. They're worth like 3 million new. So if that thing were to break entirely, that would be pretty cooked. But luckily it's just small things, and yeah, I mean, the military is paying for that. But the literally craziest thing is, one guy from another section flipped a freaking G-Class while they were doing off-road driving training. And let me tell you, this guy went around a curve on rough terrain, on like not even gravel, just like dirt. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's definitely true, yeah. But that bro, he went around a curve on literal dirt roads with like a solid 50. Or even more, I don't know. They had a black box. They read that shit out. The military police literally got all the data. He flipped that shit on its side all the windows on that side broken and the entire side is scratched to hell. There were 2 other people in the car with him. And Brer was just like, no, I wasn't going fast. There was just like a bump in the road and I steered a bit late and then I got into the bump and the car flipped. But when they read out the black box, it said that he was going above 50 around that curve. And speed limit on that training parts, the training off-road track there is like 20. He got up to 50. I don't even know how you get up to 50 on that freaking track there. I mean, even if I tried, I would not get up to 50 on that. I don't know how he even did that. That's pretty impressive driving. But then, yeah, he flipped it. So now he had to pay, but not a lot so far. But he had to pay for something, I don't know what, like $260 I think. And he now is not a driver anymore. He lost his military driver's license forever. So now he is not allowed to even close a ramp of a tank. He is not allowed to go onto the driver's seat of any vehicle in the military ever again. And he, I remind you, is in a function where you pretty much 90% of the time when you're not working on the vehicles, you're driving the vehicles. So he's absolutely cooked. Nah, they were all fine. They were working on other vehicles literally like an hour after, which is where we found them. And we were on our way back from loading up ammunition for the tanks. Me and like 2 other guys and a sergeant. And then we visited the 2 guys that were with him in the G class. He was currently at the police back then, at the military police, which is like right on the other side of the road. And we asked them, and he said they said, yeah, no, he was driving a bit crazy. I mean, they knew. So that's pretty crazy. And it might be, no, but it's actually crazy. He's lost that shit forever. I mean, he's actually lucky that they didn't take away his civil driving license as well, because if you fuck up too hard, you can lose your civil driver's license. I mean, they told us you can lose your civil driver's license if you go too fast on the freaking military grounds. The speed limit there is for a big part 40 kilometers an hour. If you go above that and the military police is watching, you are absolutely cooked. Or if you, I don't know, drive around with an open ramp or stuff like that, which one of the sergeants, by the way, did on Thursday as well. Not with an open ramp, but with an open back door. Pretty cooked. Yeah. But they are not very tolerant about stuff like that. But it's actually crazy that he only lost his military driver's license, because he was basically driving a regular car, not a tank. So this could also happen if he's driving in civil, if you know what I'm saying. Same speed limits. I mean, speed limits in general for the tanks is 80 on highway and stuff, and otherwise just the speed limits that is there for everyone else. They don't really, they have same speed limits as trucks have. Also the similar limitations as trucks have, but because it's a military vehicle, we are allowed to drive where other similar vehicles aren't allowed to drive. So kind of a truck, but with a bit more freedom. Crazy shit is, it might be that that guy has to pay for the damage of the G-Class as well, but they don't know yet. They haven't yet come to an agreement if he should or not, and if he does have to pay, that shit's going to be expensive. They told us the G-Class new is worth over 100k. So if he has to pay for an entire side of the car, new windows and shit, he is probably pretty cooked. He can probably afford that. I mean, he most likely can afford that with just the money he's making from the military itself, but it's not going to be inexpensive at all. He jokingly said to us before, like right after the accident, if he has to pay the entire 100k for the G-Class, he wants to at least keep the thing. That is actually crazy. One thing that also happened is a guy from our section didn't close the the fuel cap entirely on one of the G-Classes, and when they were out driving, the G-Class started like spilling fuel on the road while they were driving. And then that guy was slightly cooked. He didn't lose any driving licenses and stuff, but he also had to go to the military police, also pay a fine of a few hundred, and I think he also had to go. He also was a guard for an entire day. I think he was guarding the entrance because he freaked up, which is crazy, not being able to close a fuel cap. I mean, they didn't show us how to do it, but I guess it's pretty self-explanatory. He literally just put it on, but he didn't screw it closed. So he was cooked. I was actually in the car with him when one of the sergeants called and told him he had to go to the military police, like literally at this second, and we were out on a drive with like half the section to get our hours in for driving G-Class. So then we had to escort him to the military police on the most direct way possible. Driving like asshole down the country roads pretty much. Not really, but we were driving. We were giving it the beans. Yeah, I don't know how you can do that. Luckily this didn't happen to me so far. None of the bigger fuck ups. I mean, there's other crazy shit that happened. People that drove with the handbrake pulled. I mean, we're driving like small trucks, like pretty damn small, like 4 tons empty. They have a handbrake, and it actually, I did once almost forget to loosen the handbrake when driving, and I did manage to take off with the handbrake pulled entirely, which is stupid because I don't know, it doesn't even give you a warning. These things are maxed out with tech. They have a freaking touch screen as an instrument panel, but they cannot give you a warning sound that you have your freaking handbrake pulled when driving, which is stupid as hell. Or like a warning light, just a microscopic warning symbol that says you have your brakes pulled. But yeah, somebody managed to drive like an entire at least 2 kilometers with the handbrake pulled. So that shit started smoking violently. Which was pretty crazy. And apparently somebody else managed to drive a freaking tank with the brake pulled. And that's what I really cannot understand. Because for the small trucks, we don't have a real starting sequence. We just flip the main switch and then turn the things on with the key. For the tanks, we have a like 21 points long starting sequence that we have to follow every single time. You are not allowed to start this thing in another way. And Blood forgets the freaking brake. Let me remind you, there is 2 handbrakes on the tanks and 1 foot brake, and he forgot one of the handbrakes. And we learned how to start driving on steep hills. You cannot drive that shit with the brake pulled. You cannot get that thing even a millimeter forward if you have your brakes pulled. But he somehow managed to do that. I don't know. I don't know if the tank even moved or if the sergeants just noticed the engine revving and the tank not moving. But that guy and the small group they were in while doing snow chains, I think, they had to push the tank around in front of the hall because he didn't loosen the handbrake. Well, it is heavy, but I don't think it's because of the weight. It's just one brake is there's like a handbrake, like a stopping brake kind of type shit. You use that while driving as well. I mean, not to get to a stop, but when you're stopped, you use it on like not intersections, but like for example on red lights, or for on hills and stuff when you have to drive off on a steep hill, so you don't roll backwards. That's when you use that one, and it's powered. It's as well as the foot brake, it's with an air system, so it's operating using pressured air. And if you turn off the tank, the air tank is not getting pressurized, so the pressure drops off over time, so the brake is probably not very safe. And that's probably why there's another second brake that is just purely mechanical, that just, you know, stops the shit entirely. It is pretty cool. I mean, I can maybe look through my videos and see if I can show you anything. I mean, I don't have any videos of me driving the tank because I cannot film while driving, but I have videos of me being behind the driver, which you also don't really see anything there. But inside the tank, it's, first of all, you feel like you're canned food. It's really not much space. I have hit my head and my back 20 times every day, I think, when I'm in those things. My head not so much, but my back, because I have to walk in like a goofy ass crouched ass way in there. You have the steering wheel. When you're in driving position, it's like very low. You're steering like between your legs. Yes, yeah. I don't know if we're technically allowed to make videos, but they're a bit strict with us posting them publicly. But us driving a tank it's like, I mean, the internet knows how the tanks look, and once you get the tank started, driving it is not that much different than a large ass car, actually. The thing is, yeah, I know, but I mean, yeah, I'm technically outside of the allowed range, but that doesn't matter. Just a few centimeters too tall. There was another guy that was even taller, but he's not with us anymore. He's now driving regular vehicles. Anyways, if you're sitting on a chair, the tank is automatic, yeah, it's automatic. But you have a gear selector for, so you can basically increase engine braking. You're basically limiting the top gear, so you can downshift. And then when you're on the lowest gear is like 1, 2. So you have gear, highest gear. You have reverse, then neutral, then you have 2, 5, 2, 4, 2, 3, and then 1, 2. And when you're in 1, 2, you can flip a switch, and then you're in first gear, and that is like extremely slow shit, you know.
I guess you'll get Bersktet just like we do in the infantry. Respect for sticking it out. Anyway, yo, how you doing? I'm so ready for another trip to Italy, please come back.
No, this week was pretty chill. We had a visitors day, so nothing really much. Also, I'm pretty decent. I'm like one of the most locked in guys, so not getting that much that many punishments as others. But yes, Italy would be good right now, I have to say. Anyways, yeah. But nameless, literally, if you the steering wheel is like in such a goofy ass position. You have the steering wheel if you're sitting in a chair, you have the steering wheel right between your legs. It's the height of your legs, a tiny bit higher than your legs are. And then you have gas and brake on the right, like usual. And then the left foot, the only thing the left foot can do is turn on the high beams. I do very much hope I do not have to do a sergeant. No. I have good potential, sadly, but I think there's others that want to do it, and others that have some better like qualifications. I mean, we have 2 guys, or no, actually 4 guys that can speak French and German. So they are probably cooked. And 1 guy that got himself an avatar haircut, he's also cooked. Not because of the haircut, but he got the haircut because he's cooked. So I think he's cooked. No, I don't want to do chaos, because if I have to do chaos, I have to go to do guard on Carpe and be in the freaking kiosk all day. I don't want to. Or the kitchen, not the kitchen. Also, Nameless, you have to turn the steering wheel like 3 full rotations in one direction to have full steering angle. It's crazy. You're literally cranking that shit down there. Yeah, but then there's still the possibility that I mean, first of all, they know that if I lock in, I'm pretty locked in, and then I'm pretty good at most things. Actually, pretty much everything, which is not very good. Except for speaking French. I so far haven't shown anyone that I can speak a little bit of French. They all think I speak like I can only like count to 20 in French. That's the only thing I do. That's the only thing I know. That's what they think, which is good. Indeed, Nemes, indeed. Cranking that also, I got a few scratches on my hand because there's like sharp metal panels above the steering wheel, which I hit while trying to crank it too fast in the simulator. Because there was like a freaking, I don't know, 180-degree curve that had the radius of like the length of like half the tank, and it's like impossible. It's physically impossible to go around that curve with the tank. But the simulator people are like probably like, yeah, easy, just crank it. But it's not possible. You cannot go around that curve without using both lanes. And then the simulator hits like 20 warnings. You left your lane without indicating. You hit oncoming traffic. You lost control of the vehicle. You did too hasty steering movements. It's absolutely stupid. In real life, I don't think there's any roads that are this sharp, and if there are, I'm not going there with a freaking 13.5-ton heavy tank. It seems it's turning night again. I've literally not been doing anything for the last hour, which is pretty crazy. I've just been talking about tanks. Yeah. But in all, it's like, it's pretty damn cool. I mean, when we don't have to do rounds or runs around the hall of tanks, or the freaking the freaking fuel station, and it's pretty cool. Yes, there are indicators. I mean, you have to indicate when you're on the road. The indicator is like a little flip switch that you can flip to the left, center, or right, and you don't really have. You have a very silent sound that you don't hear while driving, which is cool, because if you're driving without a windshield, there is no, like, you don't see if you're indicating. And because the indicator doesn't turn off after the curve, like in a car when you indicate and you go around the curve and you straighten your steering wheel, the indicator, you know, returns to 0 and stops indicating. On the tank you don't have that, so your indicator just stays on until you notice you should stop indicating, which is why some people were cooked on the driving test the last 2 weeks, because they forgot that they had an indicator on, because even though they were driving with a windshield, so they should have noticed. There's a little light that starts blinking when you have your indicator on. When you're not in war, you actually you go up with the seat so far that you see outside of the tank. You just leave the little door, like the little thing, open on top, and you stick your head out. Basically, only your head is out, like up until your shoulder. You're outside of the tank, and then everything below is inside the tank. But if you're driving in like a war situation, or for training with night vision stuff, we also did it that way. You go all the way down with the seat and you close the little trapdoor type shit on top, and then you look out of periscopes like in a freaking submarine. But you can't really see anything. You don't know where you're exactly driving. because you have like the angle of, I don't know, you have this much angle to see with a car that is, with a vehicle that is like, it's 2 meters 63 wide, which is crazy. But you don't see anything. You see like the tip of the tank is everything you see through the periscopes. At least with night vision. With the regular periscopes you see a bit more. And you can just barely use the rearview mirrors. Not very well, they don't really give you any advantage because the angle is goofy, but yeah. I do have some videos, I also have some photos. We slept inside the tanks with the 2 rear trapdoors open. We slept like on the seat benches that are for passengers, and the trapdoors open above our heads. So we literally just looked at the freaking sky while sleeping in a tank. That's pretty crazy vibe, I have to say. No. But there's like other stuff. there's like one really goofy guy. This is like really goofy. We call him David Gooner, and he's he has taken a picture of himself with his machine gun in front of him while being naked, and the machine gun was positioned so you don't see his private parts on the picture, and he had a helmet on, and that's our group picture. And the picture of our section of on our WhatsApp group. So that guy's pretty crazy, but other than that, the others are pretty chill. Anyway, I think I will stop streaming for today. I still have to watch some YouTube videos that I have to catch up on, because I have not been watching anything for like the last 3 weeks. I'm unbrain rotting, and I'm getting too little screen time on my phone. Like I think the second week I did not charge my phone. I was in military an entire week. I did not have to charge my phone a single time. I only charged it when I was driving home, or when I used it as with Google Maps as navigation. It's crazy. I mean, we call him David Gooner, but he's not actually, his name is not actually David. I don't even know why they call him David Gooner. His name is not even close to David, but they call him that way. I don't know. So yeah. Anyways, I guess that'll be it for today. You have not been lied to. No, we've all been lied to. So yeah, thanks everyone for having been here. It was very nice to see you again, or to read your name in my chat again. I haven't literally heard from you in like a month, so that's pretty nice. I hope everyone has a good rest of the day or night or whatever, and I will I will first of all quit my game and go away from my freaking server. I'm very glad you are. I mean, you're like the OG. If you aren't here anymore, what would we even be? Oh yeah. I don't know how well it's being picked up on the camera. I literally have like everything from here on onwards is like, well, just pretty normal color, but everything from where my sleeves stopped is freaking, I don't know, I'm turning black. It's crazy. I'm pulling a reverse Michael Jackson. It reminds me of the time when I got home from holidays like 2 years ago on a stream with the Walter White t-shirt that I showed, when I said I pulled a reverse Michael Jackson. Now I pulled a reverse Michael Jackson, but it's only on my hands and on my face, because we're not allowed to take off our like, it's like a thin jacket, a long sleeve, and we're not allowed to take that off even if it's 35 degrees outside, which it was like 2 weeks ago. And that 1 week we were outside so much that my skin tone literally changed like 3 stages, and now I just have a crazy tan line. No, no. I mean, I'm not quite black yet, am I? No, just kidding, YouTube and Twitch, I'm just kidding. Also, I have a very weird other tan line. I don't just have the ones on my hand, on my wrists, and like around my neck where the t-shirt ends, but I also have one on my freaking forehead, because we also always have to wear a freaking like a freaking cap outside when, yeah, basically whenever we're outside we also have to wear a cap. And now I have a tan line where the cap ends. That's also pretty crazy. Untan myself. I think that might happen in winter. At least I hope. I can very well untan myself next summer, because I'm not going to be outside for like 3 months, because I'm going to grind everything that I haven't been able to grind throughout these endless weeks in military. Which is 3D printer, full rebuild, I hope. I don't know if that's possible in such a short time. I hope though. I'm gonna grind like through like at least, I hope, 3 videos on main channel and about as many on the second channel. Motorcycle driving shits, and I don't know. That's all I have planned so far. Oh, also I need to work on the custom mouse. My infamous homemade 3D printer, yes. I have to send you a video of that thing. Like 2 weeks ago, when I had like 3 hours or so on the weekend, and I was chilling in my room, and I got my printer to play the outro song. Like Xenogenesis by the Fat Rat. I got the printer to play that whenever it finishes a print. It's still in like a pretty janky phase, because it makes massive moves while playing the outro song. And the outro song is not, it's not very great yet, because it can only play 1 note at a time so far. But I plan on adding the functionality for it to be playing multiple notes. I don't know, like the recently pretty well known brand, yeah, called Bamboo Lab. They have kind of started doing that with their printers. They play a little jingle whenever they finish printing on the stepper motors, which is pretty crazy. So I was like, yeah, I can do that too, and I got it to work in like an hour. But it works a bit differently than theirs does, so now I'm trying to upgrade my system to be resembling their system closer, because they use specific commands that my printer does not know how to handle, so I have to script up something there. But with the help of ChatGPT and scripts, I should be able to do that. it does work. It works pretty well, but it's pretty fucking scary to watch. Also, it's like a slight bit off in frequency. I felt like it sounds a bit weird, but maybe that's just me. Anyways, I should really stop the stream. It's like almost it's like almost 11:30. Usually I'm asleep at this time of the day for like an hour already. Or more. Anyways, guess I'll skedaddle. So thanks everyone for being here, mostly you, Nameless, as always. Good rest of the day, and I will see you all next week after another week of dying in the military. Hehe. That is not very good. Military very much helps me with not having any trouble sleeping. I've not woken up a single freaking time during the night while sleeping in the military, and I've fallen asleep every time in less than 10 minutes. They all have like these shorts on YouTube where there's like how people in the military fall asleep faster. Bro, if you're in the military and actually doing something, you're dead asleep in less than 10 minutes anyway. I don't have any techniques for that. But I guess, yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Yesterday I went to bed, I opened YouTube and I was asleep before I could search up a video. It's devious. And it was like 9 PM. Yeah. Anyways, I will see myself out now. Yeah.